At the end of the world, end of the world. At the end of the world, end of the world. At the end of the world, end of the world. At the end of the world, end of the world.
Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of Knitting Abroad. It's a podcast about knitting and everything knitting related. My name is Sissi. I'm coming to you from Austria, Vienna, and it's a podcast I'm doing together with Julia. She is, as you maybe know, if you're watching the fourth time already, abroad, and if you're coming here the first time, you will see that we do this thing kind of together. So I have a lot of things to share with you and a lot of things to talk about, and you will see my little cat is going through my project bags. It's Aurora. She can't stand them. Please sit down and be quiet. Thank you. So a lot of things to share with you because I had a lot of time, and I had a lot of knitting time because I was on vacation or kind of knitcation. So I'm starting with my finished objects, and my first finished object is one I'm very proud of. You maybe can see it already. It's my cage pullover. I love it a lot. I talked about it a lot. I already showed you this one, I think, in the second episode. It was kind of finished then, and I unraveled the whole thing because it was just too short. I will stand up now that you can see it a little bit better. Yes, it's a really cool construction because you're knitting the whole back piece first till this part here, and then you're knitting the front piece. The cool thing about it is that you have just two pieces. It's very light, it's very comfy, and it was also really fast doing it the first time. It's just stuck in that stitch, so it's quite easy to do. You start with the 1x1 ribbing, then you do the increases till the armholes, then you go for the armholes right straight, and then you decrease for the front part again. The thing was with the first time knitting it, it was 15 centimeters too short, about 10 inch too short. So I reknitted it again. I made the smallest version with linen yarn, and I love the yarn a lot. It's really perfect for the summer. It's not blocked yet, the shirt, but I think it looks great, it looks cool, and it wears really nicely. So it's an easy knit, and I would recommend that you do, maybe if you want it a little bit more lofty, a little bit more wide, that you do a bigger size. If I would reknit it again, I would do it with a silk yarn, and also at least one size bigger to have a very boxy look, a very, very comfy look. That would be, I would say it would be nicer. The first thing I finished, and the second thing I finished, I have to look for, found it, is the Sheldon turtle. You maybe have seen that one on Ravelry. I love it, it's so cute. And I made this one in 3 different sizes. That's the biggest one. If you go on my Ravelry project page, I'm Trochilita on Ravelry, also on Instagram, you can find me there. You can also find pictures of my knitted project, and you find very detailed instructions what I changed with this turtle, because I changed a lot. If you don't know Sheldon, he is a knitted toy. It's a free pattern on Ravelry by, let me have a look, Ruth Hormickhouse. You can still find it. And the thing I changed because I didn't know it better, or I wasn't reading the instructions quite good enough. I will just pull him out that you can see it a little bit better, because you can put Sheldon. No, banana out of his shell. It takes a little time. So, okay, what I did. You knit this from the tail to the head, and I was a little bit confused. I thought this is the head, as you can see, and I thought this is the tail. In the original pattern there is no tail at all. It's a rounded head, and that's what I changed mainly. I knitted the tail, for me it's not a head, to the neck. Then I put in the eyes, filled it, and then knitted the rest of the body. And in the end I did some more rows and some decreases to get a little tail. Second step, you knit the legs, 4 legs, a little bit wonky with this one. And then you knit the shell. And the shell is really cool to knit, I have to say, it's really fun. You have 2 colors, the shell color and the main color of the body. So it's kind of a 2-colored pattern. You have just slip stitches. It's really easy to knit. You knit the front part, then you knit the back part, then you knit the bottom part, and then you knit it together with an I-cord. And you can stuff Sheldon into his shell. It's really fun. I did 3 sizes with sock weight yarn. I won't tell you the yarns because they were just leftovers. You can find these details on my Ravelry page. The fun part about it is that this turtle I knitted with 3 millimeters, the middle one with 2.5 millimeters, and the smallest one with 2 millimeters. And it's really the only thing I changed, and the smallest one was about this size. So little, like 10 centimeters. You can find a picture on Ravelry or Instagram. I don't have the other turtles with me because they were a gift for a very dear friend of mine. That's my second cat, Loki. Sorry. And so I gifted them the turtles. I just kept this one that I can show you guys. It's a really fun knit. It's a really fast knit. You can do this on one day. It's really easy to do. I'm so sorry. Loki wants some attention here. And he's kicking my show notes. And yeah, it's a really fun gift. And you can do multiple shells if you like for one turtle. So if you give it to a child, can play with it, can change the clothes or something like that. So it's quite nice. There's also an instruction, I guess, for a children's shell, for a newborn, to make a bigger shell. I think that's very funny. Maybe we'll do that on one point. So that were my finished objects, and I would say knit switch.
Hey, this is Julia from Sweden, Göteborg, Gothenburg in English. I'm coming to you at, it's late afternoon, and so it's a little bit cloudy, and as you see I haven't managed it with the light. I chose to get another position. It doesn't work out right, and now I have to work something out again. But I think I will do another episode at another place in my room, and so I think someday we will have the best light ever, as you can get it in Gothenburg, where it's much darker than everywhere else. So I have a finished object, as I said, and here it is, a pair of socks. Those are my strawberry socks. You can find them on Ravelry, where I am knit abroad. Not knitting abroad because that didn't work out, so knit abroad. And you find there my strawberry socks. Those are made with Bollevin yarn, This yarn is from an Austrian company. I talked about it in the last episode, I guess, and if not, I will put everything in here, so everything is gonna be good. And I love the way the yarn is pooling. I think you see it correct. It's kind of striping, but it's not striping because the stripes are in different widths, and so yeah. And in the pink is a little bit of red. You can see those stripes. It's such a wonderful yarn, and it was so good to knit with it. It's cozy and it's warm, and yeah, I haven't washed them yet, and but they are like, I love them. And the yarn was a gift from Sissi, and that's another thing why I love the socks. So yeah, my strawberry socks. And now we have some knit switch.
Works in progress. I have a few works in progress because I can't just knit one thing at a time. I have to do multiple things, I guess. Kind of. That's what I'm doing at the moment. So I'm starting with my ongoing project, and it's also our knit along. If you're a returning viewer, you will already know that we have a knit along going on Ravelry. It's called the Summer Call, and we are following with the hashtag Sosukal 2018, and we are knitting designs from Susanne Sommer, mostly cardigans. But if you want to knit a shawl with at least 3 skeins, you can also join the knit along. This knit along goes till end of September, so you have still about 1 month to join the knit along, and a cardigan or a shawl can easily be knitted in this month. So if you want to join, you would be very welcome. And the best thing is you join our group on Ravelry. It's Knitting Abroad podcast. We will insert the information, and you can also find all the informations in the show notes we have on our Ravelry page or knittingabroad.com. Also find it there. So, to my works in progress. First thing first, I said my cardigan for the knit along. It's a big fluff. I will talk about it shortly because it's not done yet, but I will show my progress a little bit. It's the Chaussure Shrug by Susanne Sommer. I'm knitting it out of the yarn from Nora George. It's an MCN, so Merino Cashmere Nylon mix, and I love the colors. It's Fort Anglia and Mermaid. I'm already at the sleeves. Sorry, my husband. Let the look out. I'm already at the sleeves and already on one of the sleeves. Yes, I separated for the sleeves and I'm already at one sleeve. It's very hard to show you how it looks because I have everywhere yarn, but you find some pictures again on Ravelry. So, but you can see here, it's the top, and that's where the sleeve starts. I just started with one, and there would be somewhere the second one here. So, fun knit, easy knit. I had just one problem because I lost kind of a stitch where I had to catch them again for the sleeve, but I saved this problem. And yeah, it's totally fine now, and I'm just on the sleeves. I'm nearly done, and we'll start with the second one before I finish the bottom. Why I started the sleeves first, I was already on the end of my first balls of yarn, and I was thinking, I'm not sure how long I want to knit the body. Maybe I want to knit it longer than the pattern says, because I have so much yarn left. I'm not sure about it now, how long I will knit it. So I thought I would just finish the sleeves first, and we'll see how much yarn will be left, and then I knit the body. Because some people already said, also in our group, I just don't know her name now, she said she did 2 pattern repeats more, and I will just do the same maybe, so that it will be longer. I like long cardigans and I think it looks very flattering on her, so I will try that out too. I'm knitting the smallest one, the smallest size, so for 34-36 Europe size, and I will see if the sleeves are too tight for me. That's also the thing why I'm knitting them first and why I kept the safe line in there, because I'm not sure if it will be too tight for me, because I don't like my sleeves too tight. And if they are too tight, I can just unravel the whole thing without losing any stitches and without thinking about it, and can do it again. So nothing lost there. You maybe will be wondering what I have here. I have a needle cozy because I'm totally in love with my needle cozies. I just have my needles in there. For this case I have DPNs in my needle cozy, and that's just perfect because I can put everything in the bag and don't have to watch out for maybe losing stitches or anything. I have the second pair of needles, my long needles. I have them also in a needle cozy, and they're safe in there, and like I said, I don't have to think about maybe losing some stitches or something like that. That was my Chaussure Schwag by Susanne Sommer. Totally enjoy this knitting. It's really hot knitting with cashmere, but still it's lofty and cozy and fine, so I don't mind that it's hot. So, first project. Second project, my snitch socks. I also showed you the last time. Also showed you the project bag, it's one of mine. And I redid the snitch socks from last time because I was knitting them from the brim down, from the cuff down. I changed that because I don't have so much yarn left. So that's the rest of my yarn. It's Wunderbunt sock yarn. She Gold already talked about it, and I'm knitting them now toe up. Oops, yeah, my needle cozy, there it goes. I'm knitting them toe up. You can see already a little bit of the snitch pattern. I will show you. But not much. There are also next to the snitches a broom. I'm not yet through one of the pattern repeats, so you can't really see a lot, but a little bit more than the last time. And I'm knitting 2 at a time because I'm not sure how much yarn I will have till the end. So there won't be any bad surprises, hopefully. That's my snitch socks. I'm very slow on them. They should be finished by the end of July. I'm in the middle of August. Don't matter. I will finish them eventually, soon. My third work in progress, I'm much faster on that one because it was my traveling knitting. So my car knitting and my train knitting and everything, or my knitting when we are hiking, because when we are hiking I also take something I can knit in small breaks just for a few rounds, and it's mostly because it's light and small socks. So I have a half finished object, but still a work in progress. It's just, I call them mom socks. It's Earth Merino sock yarn, colorway 2028. I got that, it was a gift from my Fibershare partner. I was very happy to participate in Fibershare this year for the first time. It was really fun. And maybe you can see it, it's the Hermione's Everyday Sock, sorry for the cat hair. Hermione's Everyday Sock. You can't really see that much clearer, but the yarn is really fine. It's 60 stitches on 3mm needles for my mother, because she has a little bit broader feet than me. So I can knit them quite fast, and because I'm not a vanilla sock kind of type, I'm knitting Hermione's Everyday Sock because that's for me like knitting a vanilla sock. It's fast and it's easy. So that's my work in progress on that. I'm with the second sock. I just finished, not yet finished, the 2x2 rib on the calf, and just at the beginning. So again, needle cozy in one of my project bags. Yes, that's not that interesting, but I'm not sure if you're familiar with a mystery knit-along. I'm participating in a mystery knit-along at the moment. It's called the Yarn, I'm sorry, blinking for my show notes. It's the Yarn Quest 2080 by Tanja Richter, and this mystery knit-along is called the Mythic City. It's already the second part of this mystery knit-along, and it started with August 1st. And you're knitting a shawl in double knitting, so two-sided knitting, and it's quite fun. Mystery knit-along means that you don't really know what the end result will be. So very famous mystery knit-along was the shawl design by Stephen West, the Exploration Station. This pattern was released as a mystery knit-along, so you just knew you needed 3 skeins of yarn, or 4 skeins of yarn it was. Sorry, 4 skeins of yarn, and they maybe should be a little bit contrasting, but that was everything you knew, and then you got parts of the pattern released every week or every 2 weeks, and you were just knitting along, hoping that you liked the end result. And this mystery knit-along is kind of the same, but it's a little bit more nerdy, I would say. So if you're familiar with pen and paper role playing, then you would know what it means to have a character and a character sheet with strengths and abilities that you have to play with. So pen and paper role playing is you talk with others about a story that is happening, and you're playing a character, and you don't really know what the outcome will be of the story, and you're playing a whole evening. A few hours it takes mostly. That's a thing I'm doing. I'm a role-playing group with friends of mine. We're playing once a month or something like that. It's really fun to do. You also have always one who's kind of the narrator. You also call him the dungeon master or the game master, and he's giving you the outlines for the story you're playing in. And that's what Tanja Richter is doing with her mystery knit-along. She gives us parts of the story, or she's providing the story, and you're participating with your character. You're always rolling dice for what kind of pattern you will knit, and that's what you're knitting in the scarf. So it's really fun for me. I'm doing it the first time, and if you're participating and don't want to be spoiled, just look away. Otherwise, I can show you now what I've knitted so far. That's how it looks like. That's my first 4 charts of the first pattern release of the scarf. So everyone who is participating will knit a scarf, but everyone's scarf would look different in the end, because you're not knowing what kind of dice, what you're rolling, what your numbers would be. You have different abilities and strengths checks, so that would change the patterns or what kind of pattern you would knit. And double knitting means you have a front side, that's my front side if you want to say it, with 2 colors. My main color is yellow or savannah. I will talk about the yarn in a moment. And my contrast color is Bordeaux. To check if your colors are working good together as a contrast, it's perfect, or it's the best, you make a picture of it and then look through a black and white filter on the colors. If the colors look kind of the same, they don't have enough contrast. They don't provide enough contrast. That's important, because color work needs the contrast, that you can see what you're knitting, that your color work does come out. So it's best to check it before you do color work. That works for everything, not also for double knitting. So first side of my scarf, I have to say, and the second side, it's the negative side. So you have the same pictures, just the other way around, the color set. So here on this side, my main color is Bordeaux, and the second color is Savannah, so yellow. it's, I would say it's kind of easy to knit. You have to just get used of holding your two strands of yarn, because you're knitting with the strands of yarn at the same time, so like color work. There are a lot of tutorials out there, a lot of videos. Really awesome tutorials are provided by the Sockmatician, Nathan. He is just awesome and great. Check him out, check his tutorials out. They are really well explained. I just got his tutorial for the edge, how to knit the edge, because it's really, here it looks really cool in the beginning, not so much, because I wasn't sure how to do it. And of course I didn't rip back, because it's a scarf, it's okay. I don't mind it much. Yeah, the yarn, it's Schoppel Alplino. I think it's a German brand, and it's 85% wool and 50% linen. It's quite rough, it's quite hard to wear on the skin, so I'm quite sure that I won't wear this scarf in the end as a garment or as accessoire, sorry. But I think this is more for me, the process of knitting is more fun for me, and to see what's the outcome of this pattern and the role play part, and maybe it's more a trophy in the end than a scarf I would wear. So that's what I'm thinking, how I see it at the moment. I didn't buy a very expensive yarn or something like that, or a hand-dyed yarn, because I needed 4 balls, so 2 times 800 meters. That's why I just bought nice wool but cheap wool. So I have in my project bag from Hannelisa Haferkamp, Hannah on the Road, her podcast, I have my yarn. That's the 2 colors. So if you would make now a screenshot and put it in black and white, you would see that these 2 colors look like a dark grey and a light grey, so really good contrast colors. And that's why I chose them. I like red a lot, and this was the best match for this red, so that's why I chose them. They are living in my project bag together with my pattern and my dice. So if you don't know role-playing, that's what you always need when you're role-playing. You need a lot of dice, and different kind of dice. So, that was it for my works in progress. And I would say, let's switch.
Hey again in Göteborg. Now we come to the works in progress. I have 2 of them, and I'm very proud that I can say that both of them weren't really, there wasn't much progress on them when I talked about them. First of all, it's my hoodie shawl cardigan, which lives in a wonderful project bag made by Sissi. And I talked about this hoodie shawl cardigan because I had my Frivalborg yarn, and now I decided to make it a little bit bigger, because I was thinking in Sweden maybe I have to wear something more fluffy under it, and now I decided to make it a size larger, and therefore, oh my god, därför att is, that's because in Swedish, and that's why I had to wait for another skein of yarn from the main color for the body, and now it arrived, and here it is. I made huge progress. I simply cannot believe it. It doesn't look wonderful on the cable, but I have the whole shoulders and the front. With the two colors this grayish, it's ash, and the gray one is, oh my god, I forgot. I will put it in here. And there you see, this color is ice mint. And it's a tweedy fingering yarn, and it's so lovely. Here on the camera it looks like blue, but it is definitely green. It's a light green with some speckles in it, which comes from the tweedy yarn. And there is the back. And now it's just knit and purl, knit and purl, knit and purl until I have finished the body. And I just love the way the yarn is. Oh, it's so cozy. Every yarn I now knit with is so fluffy and so wonderful to knit with. I just can't tell you this. I just can show you this. I love it. I love it. And this yarn is a hand-dyed yarn from Fru Valborg. She is dyeing in Enkjø, where she has her new dye studio. Hello, Petra! I simply can't pronounce her name the way she does in Swedish, so it has to be Petra, I guess. But yeah, so hi again, and thank you for putting the yarn so fast on the way, because now I can knit and knit and knit and knit and knit. Because yeah, that's the point. I had to alternate skeins, so that's why I had to wait again for the yarn. But now I love it. It's so wonderful, and it's so an easy knit at the moment. The pattern is from Soso Knits, which is Susanne Sommer from Austria. And this is one of the projects that go into our knit along. Yeah, so Sosokal 2018, my hoodie shawl cardigan is here. And because I love Susanne Sommer's design, there is another work in progress, and it's again from Susanne Sommer, and it's her beautiful slice of light shawl. She, we talked about it in the last episode. She makes this caul for hashtag Soso Knits Against Cancer, and there it is. I'm almost finished. I'm at the last part of the brioche section, and it's so wonderful. There you see it. It's the orange mohair, and the colors from rock sheep are so wonderful, fading into each other. It's just so wonderful. It's just beautiful. So I'm very proud that I can show you this slice of light, and yes, I knitted it almost on, I guess now it's 3 weeks or so. I have to check it. I knitted the whole body on one weekend, and yeah, it's just like, it's so an easy knit, and it's so wonderful. Just no thinking, I call it, when you just knit, 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 or purl, purl, purl. It's just so relaxing, because yeah, for me now there is much work to do in improving my Swedish and in plan my classes and my courses, and it's just much work to do, and that's why I love these cozy knits. I'm sorry, I don't know why I have to hiccup. Yeah. That was it from my works in progress, and now we do a knit switch.
What else do I have to tell you? I wanted to start already my slice of light, and I was so, now I have the yarn, I have knitcation, I can do it, I can start it. And I was on vacation with all my needles, 6 project bags for 1 week, I have to say. For 1 week I had all my needles with me, I had all the yarn with me, I had kind of everything with me. And then I found out I don't have the right needle size with me, because I don't have 4.5mm needles. And what shall I say? I was in Carinthia, in a very small town on a lake. It was beautiful, it was just great. There was no yarn shop. Just around, I don't know, for the next 20-30 minutes with the car, or car drive. And it was not worth it to get the needles just because I had enough to knit with me. But you know, like, I was itchy to knit it. And then I came home and it was just too hot to start the Slice of Light by Susanne Sommer. Julia would have talked about it already. So I just show you my yarn, because I have kind of the same yarn as Julia, just different colors, and I love them. I love the colors so much. It's Silver Fox and glued. And please don't ask me what's glued. It's in the fire after you burned a bonfire. You have something like glued. Glued is the German word. Maybe Julia will find it out and insert it in English. And Silver Fox, it's Silver Fox. That's easy. And that's my 2 colors for the Slice of Light. And I also got some fluff, I call it. It's super kid mohair with silk. And I will work them together, and I think they will look awesome. But it's just too hot now to work with mohair, so I can't. I just can't. That's why I still have it in my project bag. I already have it in my project bag with everything else I need, just haven't started yet. The yarn is by Rock Sheep Net. You can find information about her, and you can find the Rock Sheep yarn on Etsy. And it's a merino single, and I love her colorways, I love her yarn. It's the first time I will knit with singles. And singles means that it's just 1 strand of yarn, not twisted. So it's perfect for shawls or accessories, but you won't really use it for the, we won't use it for socks, because it would be won't stay long enough, and you also won't use it for stuff like cardigans or pullovers or something like that, because it would easily pool. Yes, that's why singles are better for scarves and shawls, or maybe hats, something like that. And I'm really looking forward to cast this one on, but it will take maybe 1 or 2 weeks. So on the next podcast I will hopefully show you a little bit of my Slice of Light. The other thing I wanted to talk about is I was on vacation, and I'm always nowadays looking for yarn shops in the region I am. So we went to Carinthia, and I was looking around for a shop, but there was none really close to the town we were staying. But I found a crafty place, if you'd like to say. It's called the Glitschtaler Schmiede. And the Glitschtaler Schmiede, I will show you we will insert some footage. The Glitschtaler Schmiede, it's a place where they opened a smithery, an old smithery. You can watch a smith do his handiwork, and you can also participate and try it out. That's an open smithery. They do that, I think, twice a month. They do this, so every 2nd week on Fridays. And I just saw on the homepage that you can also do a spinning workshop. And I thought, that would be fun to just try it out, to first time spinning, and to have time in my vacation to just go there if on one day the weather is not that nice for swimming in the lake and staying outside. So I just called Stephanie from the Glitschtaler Schmiede and asked her if I can do a workshop and how many persons should participate, at least that it will happen. And she said, you can come alone, it's no problem, I will do it with you only if it's no problem for you. And I said, okay, perfect, 3 hours workshop, just me, I can learn spinning. And it was really, really great because it was not just doing the hand spindle. It was we started with the hand spindle, so I just got the hack of how to spin yarn. But then we got to the spinning wheel, and it was just fun trying it out and have the time for myself with Stephanie. It was really special. It was really great, and the fun part was to just try it out and to have the feeling of the fleece between your fingers and how it becomes yarn. And I can show you now my first small ball of yarn. It's really rough wool. It's a stone sheep wool from the region because they try to get everything from Corinthia close by. There's also in the middle of this black ball is something white, and it's alpaca. I also got the chance to spin a little bit of alpaca wool, and it's a fleece, and it's really a difference. It's really, really soft. Also the alpaca fleece they get from the area. It's not very thin and it's not perfect spun, but it does not matter. It's the first ball of yarn I made. And the cool thing was that I, in the end, was really able to spin it all alone. After 3 hours, after 2 hours, I was sitting on the wheel. I wasn't working very fast or something, or not. The yarn wasn't very thin, but I was able to spin it all alone, and it was really, really a cool experience. So you can see it here. It's really variegating in thickness. I wouldn't pull too hard on it. Maybe it would break. But I have it, and I will knit with it, I'm quite sure. And I will try it out again. That's also something that's very sure of me. And I said it's not it's a crafty shop. They try how to explain it. They try to get the things they are made in the region to kind of collect it. So they have now about 23 participants who show the handicrafts. So you find various things from wooden things made out of wood, things made out of yarn. You also get some hand knitted socks there. You also get hand spun yarn there, but not exclusively. So very different things. You also get some pottery there. Stephanie herself makes some pottery, and I loved this ball. I took this one with me because 2 reasons. I love beautiful potteries, and I collect kind of bowls because you can always use them. And what I like about this one is you can see this this piece, this pattern inside is made with a crocheted fabric, I guess. It's kind of printed into the material, and then it's finished with color. It's printed into the pottery, then it's finished with the color and everything, and made to a ball. And I just liked the design. I also liked a lot how it was made, and yeah, that's what I took from this, with my ball of yarn, from this vacation.
And the last section I have to show off. I simply have to show off. I got one. I tell you, I got one. I got one skein from Wool and Vine. I simply can't believe it. I waited a long time, and I was ordering it when I was in Austria, and now it was shipped, and it's solstice on vodka. It's so wonderful. It's a superwash merino cashmere nylon base, and it's, oh my god, I have one skein of woolen vine yarns. I got one. I'm so happy, and I posted it on Instagram, and Kristin was so good. She recommended me 2 patterns, and when I'm finished with the other shawl, I will definitely cast on one of those patterns with her yarn. It's just, it's so cozy and fluffy, and I just blanking on all the wonderful words you can have for yarn. So yeah, this is my achievement, and I have much more other achievements. My sister, she went to Iceland and she got me yarn, and she sent it to me. She sent it to me, and yeah, I have Icelandic yarn, but not only Icelandic yarn, it's also hand-dyed Icelandic yarn. And here it comes. First ones are Einrum. I don't know how you pronounce it exactly. And I asked her to buy me a sweater quantity, and I got some skeins of those grayish ones and 2 skeins of those blue. It's blue and green. You don't see it on the camera. Maybe you can see it on my Instagram account. There I got the better photos of it. And this is going to be a sweater in Icelandic wool. Oh, it's a little bit rough, but I think it will be so warm. It's pure Icelandic wool and 80% and 20% pure Thai silk. It's just, it's so good. And then and the other things are from Hespa. This is the company, and this is the yarn. You see me double. It's wonderful. Hey, triple. It's funny. So yeah, there it is. And this is the this is the shawl you can make with it. And then those I asked her to buy me those, and I will pay for them. But she also bought me a small kit for a hat. And it's pink, and it's so good. I love it. And she wrote, that's very important. It's not the correct writing, but it's a little bit of a joke in our family that we write things wrong. Yeah, it's just we're playing with language. And there is written Geschenk. It means correctly it should be not an it should be an E, and it's called present in German. And so yeah, thank you very much, sister, for those for buying and sending those yarns to me. I'm looking forward to do great things with them. And yeah, Hespa yarn is hand-dyed yarn, and it's lamb wool, and it's dyed with plants, and I'm very excited how it will knit up, because I will definitely knit a shawl out of it and not crochet it because I'm not so much the crocheting type. But maybe I make some granny squares, I don't know yet, but it depends on how I feel at the moment, and at that moment that I will knit it in, make it, do it. And yeah, that's all from me in Sweden. I wish you a very happy time until we can record the next episode, and I thank you for watching, and please subscribe and like, thumbs up, and visit us on Ravelry and visit us on Instagram, where you find us under the hashtag Knitting Abroad Podcast. And yeah, I wish you a pleasant time, and
I hope you enjoy the summer as I do, and I hope you have a lot of time to knit your stuff you like to. Also, it's hard, but I think knitting is always a good thing also to do in the evening. Something that's just a little bit harder with the yarn around your finger when you're sweaty, but still knitting. So I hope to see you guys soon again. Next podcast will be in few weeks, and till then I wish you happy knitting. Goodbye.
I'll be gone for now, but you can still hear the sound of my voice